Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Don't compromise your standards. And this podcast is brought to you by the generous donation of, a frequent supporter of mine. Quite a few videos have come from this gentleman's donations. And just to be clear, if you have a question, it don't work well for me. Say, hey, Rom, do a video on that. Don't work for me. To paraphrase, to actually quote African traditional priests that I'm acquainted with, he said, the gods work harder when you pay them. Rom works harder when you pay them, or at least pays attention. So, and just real quick, reason why I do that, I don't realize how many just casual requests I get daily. So, Rom's time is money. So anyway, though, he gave me the rundown. He said, he met this woman. She was feeling him. Gave her his number. They set up a date. But when the date came, she didn't show up. She didn't show up. And then, she texted him. He texted her. She texted him back some lame thing. And he didn't respond. And then, she texted him, asked for other chances, and he didn't respond. Then he ran into her again, and he just told her, look, I'm not upset with you. I'm just not interested. Setting up that date with you took time away from important things. I can't make time for you anymore. And, she took it poorly, but here's the thing. And she was an attractive woman too. Here's the thing. As men, our time is important. That's why I told that little thing about my time and paying for my time. Because like I said, I get a lot of people hit me up. They want something, but I'm like, I'm not getting anything from this. My time is valuable. That's why I work so hard, so I can have my time. I don't have to put it in. Now, regarding dating and dealing with women, a lot of men deal with time wasters. Shout out Alan Roger Curry, because he talks about that a lot. And you get some women like that. You set up a date and then they talking about they forgot it. I was like, hold up. You supposed to meet? You don't remember? And then she probably might have expected him to pay. So this dude, he there and everything, and the woman didn't want to pay. And he did the right thing. See, the wrong thing would have been like, oh, let me give you another chance. He cut it off right away, because that's how cold you got to be, and that's how much you got to enforce your standard. You got to let people know. Right? Like, I give you a story. Let me tell a story. I ain't did one of these in a long time. But let me tell a story. It was this woman I was dating back in the day. We kicked it for about a couple months, because that was a long relationship for Rom at the time. And I remember I went to pick her up. She lived with her parents. I went to pick her up. She came out right away. She came out to the living room right away, everything. We left. While we were driving, she said her mother told her to wait a few minutes, not to run out right away, make me sit there. And she told her mother, say, no, Rom don't play that. Which I didn't. I was like, I don't play that. Don't make me wait. Don't make me wait. If my ass on time, that's because I want to leave. If I say, look, I'm going to pick you up at 4, that means your ass need to be ready at 3:45. Because my time is valuable. Anybody who, I'm going to get ghetto, conversates with me now, any women, they know that. They know that. I was like, look, this is what time I can talk to you. This is the time and date I can talk to you, because it's important. Now, a man, see, that's why it's important for a man to always have some way on him to keep time. I used to say watches before the advent of smartphones, and still should have some watches on anyway. And that's why, like, serious businessmen always have watches. It's all about the time. It's all about the standard. You got to set a standard. And in this case, it was about time. It could be something else. You, like, a man has to set a standard and don't compromise those standards regardless of the women, for everything about it. If his standard is a woman needs to behave a certain way and carry herself a certain way, don't change that standard just because she got a nice body. You know, a lot of people talk about the word simping, but that's when you start to simp, when you compromise your standard. You need to have a standard. Every time you deal, you need to have a certain threshold. You're like, nah, baby, you ain't gonna do this. You know what? Remember, I've talked about order and boundaries before on here. Your standard is a boundary. And women, they are actually attracted to that. Now, women test it because that's really their nature, is to test you. And to see if you are who you say you are. But you gotta be like, no, I ain't playing that. You know, one of the worst things a man could do is he could set that standard, she violated, and then the man come up, well, I'll give you a second chance. Cause she'll take it. If once you establish, once you let a woman know something, you gotta stick with it, even if it hurts you. Even if it hurts you, even if it mean your ding-a-ling ain't getting sucked that night. That's how much you gotta be. You gotta stick on it. You gotta stand on your square, as the Masons would say. You gotta be like, nah, this ain't what you're going to be doing. This is what you took up my time. You wasted my time. Shoot, you should have reached out to me if there was a problem. Whatever. But whatever your standard is. So one of the things every man has to do before he even wants to interact, because a lot of guys come in this space, or they looking for some way to get women, figure out first who you are, what your boundary is, what your standard is, what you going to put up with and not put up with, and boom. And one of the best ways to even get to that point, right? Even one of the best ways to get to that point is just develop discipline. Because in order to maintain your standards, you got to have discipline. Because look, let's be real. Let's keep it 1,000. Most dudes, if you got to find women doing some crazy shit, you know, many men go and compromise this stuff. I had a commenter. He said that in a comment. If the brother, if you hear this podcast and you remember making that comment, shout yourself out. But he said he met this dude, big muscular dude, putting up with some shit with some woman. All because she looked good. I'm like, are you kidding me? Shit, you gotta have zero tolerance for putting up with some bullshit. Wasting your time, putting up with some bullshit. All of that. You gotta have zero tolerance. Now, you don't have to be totally hard. I mean, you can give, I say like this, you can give some leeway depending on the situation. Like if I was in that situation, I might have gave leeway if she called up and said she had a flat. Now somebody say, well, Ron, you got to get more leeway than that. No, I don't. You got to call me up. You got to say something. Flat. Shit, something happened on your job. It took some time. Something. You know, that's just common courtesy. That's just common courtesy. And let me get into that common courtesy thing. A lot of guys put up with some stuff and the woman's rude to them. I'm like, shoot, I don't care who the human being is. I don't care what they look like. They can be the Queen of England, the President of the United States, Putin, you know. Thanos. Well, shit, no, you better be considerate with me on my time, on my standard. I don't care who you are. I don't play that. I don't play that. And people need to keep that standard no matter what. Because that's the nature of man. A man needs everybody, like, that's why women are tested, kids are tested, other men are tested. They want to see if you're going to keep it. And that's the point of respect. Now, I did a lot of videos talking about some stuff that on the surface ain't directly related to, like, just getting a woman, but all that. Respecting yourself, your boundaries, discipline. Anytime I talk about it, it's related to that old thing. It's about who you are as a man. And as a man, you don't compromise your standards. You stick with them, even if it hurts. Even if it means, even if it means your dick going to be dry for 6 months. It's better your dick's dry for 6 months than you go through hell for like 18 years with some woman just because you compromise your standard. All right? So anyway, that's all I got for today. I'll talk to you later. Peace and blessings.